Hello. Hi. It is me, Rob. So I decided to start doing some YouTube videos, mostly for the things that I wanted to discuss that maybe weren't necessarily from a specific story. I really want to dedicate most of the blog to focus on the stories and showing those the truth within them, and how they can all be universal truths. And so with the videos, I really want to pick apart more so at the lessons and how those can apply to your life and how they've applied to mine. Through the stories that I've shared. So today I wanted to talk about letting go of negative thoughts and negative thoughts that we may have been carrying around with ourselves, within ourselves for quite some time, that are usually rooted in fear and some sort of trauma that we may have experienced, and something that has kind of shaped what we perceive as our reality. And so I wanted to talk a little bit about some of the negative things that I've had in my mind that have kind of became ingrained in my thought process, and how to work through them a bit. So A Course in Miracles says that we must laugh at the ego's tiny mad ideas. And so first with ego, it's not always meaning that arrogance. It's not saying, I think I'm the best. The ego also says, I think I'm the worst. I think I'm trash. I think I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to be that person's friend. I'm not good enough for that career. I'm not good enough for a relationship, or I'm not pretty enough. And so the main thing to do is to work through what is rooted in the ego, what the ego's voice is telling you, and what your inner guide is telling you. And these are things that I started to learn through Gabrielle Bernstein. If you haven't heard of her, check her out. She's amazing. She is a spiritual guide and healer that is based here in Manhattan. So I will include a link for that as well here. So a few of the negative thoughts that I've had that had come up in my life that I had to work through was that I'm ugly, that I'm not really a writer, that I'm not an artist. And these were things that manifested in a lot of different ways, namely my career choices, and my need to be validated in my career, also the need to be validated by other guys, and to be validated and feeling like I was pretty enough and good enough and worthy enough of love and admiration and all of those things through other people. And so recently I heard about laughing through those tiny mad ideas, but they actually started to come up through a relationship. And throughout that process, I realized that I was feeling really put down by this person, or more so, they reinforced the tiny mad ideas that I had in my brain. Now, I couldn't blame them necessarily for my thought process. So coming out of that relationship, I wasn't, this person made me feel this person made me feel this way about myself, or there just goes another person showing me what I knew all along, that I'm not good enough and that I'm trash, and when will someone show me that I'm better enough? When will someone appreciate me for how I look and who I am as an artist? And the thing that I realized was those things that were bringing me down, those things that I felt weren't being met in that relationship, those are things that I wasn't meeting for myself. So I was believing that I was not pretty, that I was not attractive. So I created that reality outwardly. So you draw in the things that you already think about yourself, and thoughts have power. So when you think those things, it's going to manifest in the people that you date, maybe the friends that you have, and it's really something rooted in you. Another thing was not feeling like I was a creative person, not feeling that I was true as an artist and as a writer and things like that. And that was also something that I felt like wasn't being validated by this person. So once I realized that they weren't necessarily to blame for my own need to be validated in those ways, and once I was able to separate from that person, I was able to really focus on building myself in those, in reversing those beliefs. So understanding that those thoughts are not of you, that those are tiny mad ideas, because really those things aren't real. Reality, we don't really, we tend to shift what we believe, but it's actually those thoughts were not real. They're not of a place of love. They weren't of a place of guidance. They were a place of the ego's tiny mad idea. So once you recognize that those ideas that you have about yourself aren't of yourself, sometimes I refer to them as a fly. It's kind of like a buzzing little fly that comes around, and it's not really of you. It's not really part of you, but it whispers things, and it's annoying, and it can get inside your head and continue to follow you around. And so once you realize that that's not part of you, the next step is to start swatting at that fly, to start swatting at it. When it comes up, when a negative thought comes up about yourself, to reverse that, to know that's not of you, to know that's not true. And the more I started doing that, the more I started to believe in love, the more I started to believe in myself from a spiritual, more loving place, and not from a ego state of mind. And so it's really funny because I was going through this, and then I started learning more about what A Course in Miracles says about laughing at those tiny mad ideas. And that person from the past actually reinforced one of those tiny mad ideas and said that I was a fake writer. Now, typically, you know, before, when I was back in that relationship, I probably would have cowered in and probably would have found a way to make it true, and to say I was sorry, and to say that that they were right, that I wasn't worthy, that I am fake, and that I am, you know, not really a true artist. But at that point, as I was about to start spilling these things of like, oh my gosh, how could you say this? I just started laughing. And that was really a true test of growth in myself, that I was able to see that now I was able to laugh when someone else would reinforce a tiny mad idea that I used to believe in. So, think about those things. Think about those things that scare you. Think about the tiny mad ideas that you might have. And think about, you know, how they're showing up, and whether it's in relationships, whether it's in your career, whether it's a family member, relative, you name it. Think about those things, and understand that those are things that are within yourself, that you are turning those ideas into your reality. And then we can talk about how to overcome those, and to change those, and to remember that those are not of you. So if you would like to chat with me, I know this is like my first video, and it's, you know, going to be a work in progress on this channel, but if you would like to chat with me, feel free to reach out to me on social media, or email me on the About page of QueerSpinster.com. I hope this helps, and I will chat with you soon. Thanks.